Well, hold on to your hat. Today is going to be a different type of podcast. We have had some emotions running high in our house, and I'm going to share all about it with you and some of the things that I do to calm down after having a not so positive morning in the Mitchell household. Hey there, it's Dana Mitchell, and I want to welcome you to Master Essential Oils Podcast. This is the place that we get together and we chat about the things I've learned, what I love about essential oils, and I give you tips and tricks on how to use them. You can find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com/masteroils, or find me on my website at www.masteressentialoils.com. Now, if you find this podcast helpful, please share it. I would love to share information with anybody who is interested in essential oils. And if you have found me on any of the different podcast platforms, I would love a thumbs up if you think this information is helpful. Thank you so much for being here. So let's get started. Today, as you heard in the intro, we are going to get a little bit real. I am a mom, and if you've heard my podcast previous to this, I talked about how to use oils with your kids. And today, we are going to talk about moms. Parenting can be quite the adventure, and we are having one of those weeks in our house that the emotions are running high. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to manage that fight or flight. And that's I'm laughing because that is totally how I am feeling today. Kids are a blessing, and sometimes we just need a reminder of that. And we are having quite the week this week of emotions. You know, like a Mack truck has come through our home and I have no idea where it came from or what happened and where it went. And so we all have those days and we don't like to talk about them. And, a little bit of preteen angst, a little bit of we're all trying to find ourselves in this new world that we're in. We are having to do things differently. And emotions run high. And, I am going to be quite transparent today that I have to find new tools every day on how to manage my feelings around things and my interactions in my relationships. And those keep changing, the tools that I use. But, that is part of who we are as parents. And it is like a roller coaster of emotions that we have to try to buckle up and figure out how to ride this ride. So I figured I would come on since I'm having all these feelings and I'm turning to my oils for support. But I will be honest to say that a lot of times in the heat of the moment or kind of after the interaction has happened and you're trying to kind of regroup, I forget about using my oils. And it's very interesting when that happens because oils have been so foundational for me for the last couple of years. And in the heat of the moment, you forget what you've got and how to use it. So if what I'm talking about is resonating with you, just know you're not alone. Just know that all families have ups and downs and emotions that run high. Stress plays a big part. Right now, we're all trying to figure out what the new normal is. And as a parent, I try to put myself back in these preteen years, and I can't even identify with the emotions that are coming because I did not have the same experiences. And sadly, that's what I try to pull from, of trying to put myself in my daughter's shoes and understand what she's feeling and then how to help her move through that, how to coach her with that. And boy, this is a whole new level of not being able to have friends over like we have in the past and having to be really conscious of interactions with people, how close in proximity we are, hugs and kisses to family members. So, I get it. Emotions are really, really running rampant. So, let's talk about what kind of tools that you can use in your oil box to help with that. So, as I mentioned, we had a not so positive interaction this morning. And what did I do? After my daughter was at school, I grabbed my first oil of the day, which was Balance. Balance is an oil that I really connect with, and it does so many things. It's got a lot of wood type oils, which is helpful to be very grounding. It is an oil that is great for emotional relief. It helps with relaxation. It helps with anxiety, which that's my immediate fight or flight response is anxiety of, oh no, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to change this. And so Balance is an amazing oil to help with that. It's great for calming, like I said, a sense of well-being. It's got spruce in an oil called hoe wood, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and then it's topped with fractionated coconut. So I put 3 or 4 drops on my feet every morning, and this just helps me kind of start my day to be able to be a little bit grounded for whatever may come. And so after our little issue, I got Balance and put it on my wrist. And then I put a little bit behind my ears and smelled from the bottle. I took several deep breaths from the bottle. And as I did that, I just kind of had a mantra of everything will work out. Everything will be okay. Everything will work out. Everything will be okay. And I turn to that whenever I need to kind of get myself out of whatever my response is at that moment in time. So the next oil I want to tell you about is Adaptive Calming Blend. And I've talked about this related to using oils with children, but this is a blend that helps in those stressful moments in life. And whether it's you have some anxiety around a meeting, you're going to be in front of people you don't know, or if you've had some type of interaction that your fight or flight response has kicked in. And so this will help boost your mood. It will help bring on feelings of tranquility, calming, relaxation. And I actually use the supplemental version of this that doTERRA has. So it kind of helps with the overall well-being of my body to manage stress long term, because I'm a pretty stressful type A person. And so even with all my tools, this is an ongoing challenge that I have. So Adaptive has been really, really helpful in that overall stress relief. So with this blend, you can put it with Epsom salts, a couple of drops, maybe 3 to 4 drops, put it in the bath, take a long bath. Hey, take yourself a glass of wine in there, have some mom time. There is nothing wrong with that. There have been many times where I have just had to have a few minutes to myself, and getting a bath, a long soaking bath in Epsom salts is a way to go. So for the bath, let me tell you what I do. I use Epsom salt, sea salt, and a little bit of baking soda. So Epsom salt is great for muscle tension. Sea salt is great for detoxing, which emotions are part of detoxing as well. And then the baking soda is a way to help balance with the salts to not dry out your skin so much. So I would do a cup of sea salt, a cup of Epsom salt, and then about a teaspoon of the baking soda. And then add to that a couple of drops of essential oil. Balance would be great in the bath. Add it to your salts. You could do Adaptive. You could do lavender. You could do vetiver if you're going to try to go to sleep afterwards. Let me tell you, that oil will make you sleepy. And I would not use but a drop or 2 because it is really powerful. Cedarwood is another one. For muscle tension, I like to use oils such as deep blue, which is a blend of many different oils that are relaxing and helps to remove tension from your muscles. So mix all that together and then put about a cup or how much ever you need in your bath. Now, I also have an ongoing perpetual jar of salts, and I have that already mixed. And anytime I finish using a bottle of oil, I take apart the cap, I take off the reducer, which is that little plastic dropper at the top of doTERRA bottles, and I stick all of that in my salt. And that way I get every single drop. So I kind of have an ongoing jar of every type of oil that I may be finishing. So the aroma may be a little unique. And so I will only use this mixture of salt if I'm going to bed afterwards and then taking a shower in the morning. But I have found that that's a way I can use up every little drop of the oils because it's an investment. And you want to make sure that you are using all of your supply. So you just take a long soak and just breathe in and out. That's the goal. Just just settle in and just breathe. For me, I find I just kind of hold my breath through whatever it is, and then I have the fallout after that. And if you don't take time for yourself, then I'm giving you permission to do so. It is a time that you need to gather yourself back together. Recall your energy is how I think of it. Of all the things that have happened in the day where I lost a little piece of myself, I bring it back in the bath and use those oils. Try out a salt mixture like I shared with you, and then go back to the show notes and tell us what are you finding is helpful when you've had a day, when you have had a moment of things coming apart. How are you able to bring it back together? I know a lot of people use deep breathing, and I've mentioned that. I like to use meditation. I like to use mantras to just calm my body down with telling myself it's going to be okay and everything's okay and it will be different now. Things will be different now. So mantras are great. Meditation, there's tons of great meditation apps that you can use to help to calm your muscles, muscle by muscle, all the way down your body and just be able to breathe deeply again. So tell us, what do you do? What are your tips and tricks for pulling it back together on one of those days where being a mom is hard? And we all have them, and it's okay. Tomorrow will be a better day. So I want to wrap up our time together and thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me a space that I can talk out these emotions. As I said in the start of the podcast, I had quite an emotional roller coaster going on with my child, and we all have it. So hopefully there's been a little piece of something, a little nugget or a tip, or you've been able to see yourself in what is going on in my life today, and to know that we all have it. And hopefully there are tools that you can pull from, and essential oils may be one of those. Or you've gotten another tip through the podcast of using meditation or deep breathing or just taking time for yourself when you need it. Parenting is a lifelong journey and it has amazing benefits. But on the days that we have other things going on, let's pull from the tools that we have. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. I would love to hear from you. Come and meet me in Facebook at www.facebook.com/masteroils. And feel free to reach out to me if you are hoping to acquire some oils. doTERRA is my brand, and I would love to help you get started with an account and some of these oils that we've talked about today. You can find my contact information and other episodes of the podcast on my website. Go to www.masteressentialoils.com. So I hope to hear from you soon and have a great week.